Hey everybody, I'm back with another movie spoiler review, and this one is definitely one I definitely haven't seen in a mighty long time. The movie Unaccompanied Minors. Before I continue, please do me a huge favor and follow me on my YouTube channel. If you want to further support the channel, please check out my Patreon. The links are in the description below. Uh, yeah, so this was directed by Paul Feig. That's right, the Ghostbusters Paul Feig. And yeah, let me double check because I'm pretty sure that is, yep, Ghostbusters Paul Feig, that Paul Feig. And this is his second movie he's done. And it's actually, did not even know this, was inspired by a true story by Susan Burton, first told in a public radio show, This American Life. And it stars Dylan Christopher as Spencer Davenport, Louis Black as Oliver Porter, Gia Mantegna as Grace Conrad, Tyler James Williams from Everybody's Chris as Charles Goldfinch, Quinn Shepard as Donna Malone, Wilmer Vladimirov as Zach Van Burke, Brett Kelly as Timothy Beef Wellington, same Brett who was the kid from the Bad Santa films, Dominique Saldana as Catherine Davenport, the younger sister to Spencer, Paget Brewster and Rob Corddry plays the parents Valerie and Samuel Davenport. He's actually got some freaking cast of, people that are popular now were a part of this film back in the day as bit roles. Like Mario Lopez is a part-time substitute minors watcher. We got Rob Regal as head security guard of the airport. We got B.J. Novak as Tommy Black, Mindy Kaling as restaurant hostess, Tony Hale, Alan Davies, Cedric Yarborough as Charles' father, Melvin Goldfinch, Kristen Wiig as Carol Malone, Al Roker as himself. So yeah, it's got a cast of characters you even seen for the first time ever, or you've probably seen in other stuff prior. Like, Wilmer was part of That 70s Show, and Mario Lopez from obviously Saved by the Bell. So, we meet these young kids who are traveling, or at least sent on the plane to their various destinations for the Christmas holiday. But because of a blizzard, many people are stuck at the airport. But for the unaccompanied minors, a bunch of kids are stuffed in this little room where they acting completely rambunctious, throwing stuff. A lot of stuff is getting thrown around here. With no kids listening to nobody. I get it. A lot of these are young kids, but a good half of them are teenagers. And it's like, got nobody but two people watching them. Are you kidding me? Like, you can't get extra security to help wrangle these kids to get them to sit down because clearly they are hopped up on sugar or something. But since they're unaccompanied because they're being sent to certain places, but they are stuck here. Uh, they're pretty much being washed over. But the main kids that we're watching over are sneaking off to do various things because they just, they just want to do certain things that they feel like they're going to be neglected of being allowed to do because of some type of parental supervision or something like that. Spencer decides to rack up a food bill at the food court while Beef is, messing around in a storage room playing, like with various equipment to make his own little fort because he has a little Aquaman action figure. And it's like, man, wait a good 10 years, Aquaman would be a big deal. And this kid will be extremely happy. We got Grace, who is, exfoliating Charlie is pretty much doing karaoke. And of course we got Donna, who is probably like the tomboy of the group. I forgot what she was doing because I know she was messing around on one of those little cart things. And because I guess Lewis Black plays like the head of the airport and is, or at least was, planning on going to Hawaii for the Christmas holiday, but his flight is canceled, so now he's become a bit of a Scrooge, and because he doesn't decorate the airport with the Christmas trimmings and stuff like that, he's pretty much a bit of a Scrooge. So now he is, got to stick up his butt, and because these kids who, sure, are doing stuff they probably not meant to do, but it's so benign, he kind of goes over the top with certain punishments. And it's like, sure, you're responsible for them, but at the same time, you're like, you're not no warden either. It's like, I don't know. He seems like he's just taking it out on these kids, and I personally feel like he is definitely like taking it way too far with it. That's why his whole turnaround at the end seems kind of like not earned in a way. We'll get to that soon, but sure, like I said, the kids should have been, staying in one place, but they being kind of rambunctious, but doing karaoke, and the kid clearly hungry and eating stuff that he probably wasn't allowed to, just indulging himself, and the kid just exfoliating. I don't think like it's the worst thing in the world. It's an annoyance, but I'm pretty sure you, in the grand scheme of things, can get over it. But once they head back to the room after they get caught, the bulk of the kids, including Spencer's younger sister, is moved to this hotel lodge a few miles away from the airport to stay and have some kind of comfort while waiting for the blizzard to dissipate so they can board their flights to get to where they need to go. So the rest of the kids have to stay there as essentially punishment, or it's like, oh, they didn't account for them because they wasn't there to be paid up. But it's like, even still, you can avoid a lot of headaches if you just send these kids to the lodge so you don't have to deal with this and other people can watch over them. You pretty much making it worse on yourself. We watching this, it's like, man, you causing more problems for yourself by keeping these kids here instead of just sending them with the other kids so you can just get them out of your hair. Because clearly you don't want to deal with this. But anyway, Porter has Zach look after them. But they trick Zach into uh, running out, leaving the door open a little bit so they can sneak out. Now, Porter and the others are on the hunt for these kids, but Spencer rallies the kids to help him uh, uh, get a gift because he found this doll in Baggett's claim, I think. They can give to his younger sister because he promised her that Santa Claus won't forget her because they're stuck there. So he want to make his way to the lodge so he can deliver that gift so she doesn't think like Santa forgot her. And although it's sweet, I don't know if these other kids would realistically be bothered. Like I said, it's probably inspired by a true story, but I'm not sure. Like in the grand scheme of things, as some people are inherently good, but it's like, well, I'm about to say like I don't think these kids will be willing to go out that way for some complete stranger's young sister to make sure her faith in Santa Claus doesn't get disrupted or anything like that. It's like, yeah, that's not my problem kind of thing, you know? But then again, they got nothing better else to do, and they pretty much trying to avoid getting caught, so they might as well just kind of stick together in this situation. So they pretty much like, and I get it, it's a kind of a kids movie, so it's a bit of pratfalls and here and there, but honestly, there's one scene where one of the security guards sees Beef mess around in the storage room earlier, and he's kind of like a large kid, and he just like halts, and the kid just runs past him, and he just like, well, why didn't that work? And it's like, it's things like that. It's like you're twice their size and you're twice relatively fat. Well, they're young kids, they got the definitely the energy, but it's like, seriously, you can't just grab the little sucker. It's played up for comedic effect, but there's a lot of things that these kids should easily get caught, and certain things that they should not get outsmarted by. But he treating these kids like they're freaking MacGyver or something. So they like build up a kind of like a team, while Beef decides to find like a Christmas tree of for Spencer's sister. He kind of breaks away from the main group, which I'm not sure if they just didn't know how to write this kid to be a part of this team, because clearly they are intending to have Charlie and Donna have like a thing, and then Spencer and Grace have a thing. So, Beef will eventually have some kind of rush thing with some kid at the end, this young girl who's impressed by the fact that he brought in like a Christmas tree. They kind of rush that a bit because they kind of got to give this kid something, because it kind of feels kind of mean spirited, because you kind of left him. They didn't forget him. We pop in and out every once in a while to see what he's up to get, you see him find, well, we get a little flashback with him and his stepfather, who trying to toughen up the kid because he's kind of like a very much introvert, and he want to kind of like toughen up the kid a bit, and so the kind of the kid internalized it as like, men are not born, they're made kind of situation, which some might view it as toxic masculinity or something like that. Now, I don't agree with the method and the mindset of this dad, but I understand the sentiment. They could have definitely gone about away with it, but I guess it's kind of played up for laughs because it's, David David Kostner, who plays the stepfather, kind of played up for last as this ultra masculine guy who probably was a bully when he was a kid, but now is kind of like a balding, you know, pseudo masculine dude who probably get laid out by other dudes, you know, when push comes to shove. But he kind of internalized that thing. It's like, okay, I'm scared, but I'm gonna have to like tough it through because it's for my quick friend, little sister. So I'm gonna brave the snow, and he ends up trading his Aquaman figure for this tree, which, even if that thing was valuable, you took it out of this wrapping and you've been playing around with it and it's probably lost its value. They kind of left that out. Like, okay, like, what's this tree seller guy going to do with this? Unless he has a kid that likes Aquaman or this particular Aquaman. They didn't do nothing with it. Maybe he was charmed by the kid who's willing to sacrifice his own personal belonging for this tree meant for somebody else. I can rock with it, even though I don't buy it. But my brain can willingly buy it. So it is what it is. I just thought it because that's what this kid's doing. He'll show up at the third act. Anyway, we go back to these other kids who the actors are good, and of course Tyler, who went on to do great things. Well, the kids who played the Spencer, who's Spencer and his little sister, they only acted for a little bit, but I guess he eventually kind of stopped after like the after 2011. But and I honestly thought this was like a young Jesse Eisenberg. He kind of looks like Jesse Eisenberg. But anyway, the others, went on to still act here and there. But I think Tyler's the only one that's actually, well, out of the kids, mind you, that went on to do more acting stuff. I think he's in the Abbott TV show, Abbott Elementary. I haven't watched the show, but I'm hearing good things. So yeah, he's definitely made a pretty good career of himself. However, I think out of all those kids, he is personally, in my opinion, the weakest link, because it kind of really there's comedic moments with everybody, but when in terms of this core group of kids, they kind of lean heavily with the comedic with him. He kind of like this nerdy, the Urkel type, He doesn't have the whole braininess or the glasses kind of stick, but he has like an uptight, preppy outfit, and clearly he's spent a lot of time in airports, so he's kind of like got a recognition. But the jokes they give this kid did not land with me. It comes across forced and just clunky. Like the moment he kind of stuck in a suitcase and Donna's trying to rescue him, and there's bits in there. It's like they give him so many stupid cliches and kind of like a know-it-all twerp that I can buy the fact that he's been shoved in many of lockers in his time, and it's just like I can't laugh at this kid at all. Nothing's making me laugh at this kid. I can't laugh at him or laugh with him. It's just weak. His performance. I'm gonna say his performance was weak, but I'm saying the comedic stuff they give him was weak. But they end up eventually getting caught. But then, uh, but I'm getting ahead of myself. They know that they need to get to the lodge, so they find a canoe. Coincidentally, I don't know who brings in a canoe to an airport for travel. Who knows? But the kids, along with Zach, who has been friendly with them, uh, they shove him into the canoe and ride with him as they go down this hill, snowy hill, to get to the lodge straight away, while Porter and the others grab other stuff to slide down with. And they manage to go to the lodge, and Spencer, who managed to slip the doll in his sister's arms while she sleep. Oh, and by the way, the sister had some kind of little, rivalry with this dorky, who you think is a dorky girl, but it's kind of like a bully. Don't even care. That's another weak part of this film for me. Didn't really care, but you got to do something with the sister, I guess. But then after that, they get caught by Porter, taken back to the airport, and instead of just leave the kids there, just be done with this. Why do you feel like you need to throw your dick around just to prove that you're the big boss man or something like that, because you're griping by the fact that you can't go to Hawaii? Yeah, because granted, like, you haven't taken like a vacation in years for the Christmas holiday, and this is the first time in a long time he can get that done. But I am willing not to buy that, because I'm not sure it has always been a mandate, but it should have been like a mandate for many years, where it's required, especially in like a government capacity like the airport, that people need to take a vacation, at least, take some vacation time at least once a year. They have to do that. It's part of, like, a mandate for a lot of businesses. Anyway, so they get locked in these, clearly, like, this, what is this place? I don't know any airport. Well, then again, with the TSA and everything like that, mind you, this is like a few years after 9/11. But they have these little rooms, like it's interrogation rooms or something like that. They stuff these kids separately. Nobody bothered to ask where's the fifth kid, but whatever. So they own their little walkie-talkies. They still have on their person what they've been communicating with for a while. And we hear a bit about Spencer apologizing about ruining their Christmas, and a lot of them are children of divorcees, but except for Grace, whose parents are still together, but doesn't spend time with her around the holidays. So when the time comes, she gets sent to visit a nana or something like that. So she didn't have like any kind of relationship with her parents. Now, like, that's not going to screw her up in the future. So Spencer wants to make sure that his newfound friends have a good Christmas. So, doing the whole gimmick in tons of spy films or cop movies, where coincidentally their walkie-talkies also record video. So they record themselves doing mundane things in the cell, then strap it to the cameras that's supposed to be watching them, and they sneak out via the air vents, which is also coincidentally in there. So we get a moment with Charlie consoling Donna, who has a fear of tight enclosed spaces. And then after that nice little moment between these two, probably the best moment I like Tyler in, he then, as they begin to continue forward, he farts. And Look, I appreciate a good fart joke every once in a while, but it's needed to be put in. Mind you, this is a movie for kids, but you have to put it in properly. It seems like you probably can buy this from the fat kid, but you it seems like so out of place and not fitting for Tyler. Now, I mean Charlie. Now, if you had your moment where, because earlier in the film, Charlie is trying to find like a bathroom, and you can put in moments where he gets nervous, he farts, and you can set that up, and that way when it happens in this moment, it doesn't seem kind of out of nowhere, which it is. It seems like a hacky, easy, convenient, slapstick to put in, and it seems not in tune with this particular character. Did not care for that. It's one of those things that makes it, a groaner. Anyway, they managed to escape, and seeing that, all these other adults are, and their kids are sleeping in a different wing of the airport, and seeing Beef comes in with his Christmas tree, they go into the stores where Porter has stuffed all the Christmas decorations and decide to decorate the place and the tree so people can have like a nice little Christmas morning. Porter meets up with Spencer and got the cojones to actually give this character dialogue, telling him like, I'm just doing my job right. Yeah, it's like, stop it. You've been unnecessary, I won't say uncharacteristically, but unnecessarily D-head about this, where you could just, just taking the kids much earlier to the lodge so you can just be out of your hair so you can just go on about your day. But instead, you want to play warden and just, throw your weight around, just completely unnecessary. And this is Lewis Black, mind you, a well-known comedian. They didn't give him nothing funny to do, and he's very funny, and he, doesn't offer anything funny in this. He could have easily been played by other lowbrow or stoic, or what's that? What's that? Dry humor type of actor that could have easily fit this role, but you put in a comedian in this role, and if I'm managed to get a comedian in a particular role, I want to do everything in my power to make sure this comedian has moments where he can add in some funny stuff. And he did not make me laugh at all. And it's supposed to be a good comedy. Anyway, Spencer gives him a gift to apologize for ruining his Christmas. Like, you didn't ruin crap. He just butthurt because he couldn't go to Hawaii because of a blizzard, a freaking act of God, and he just took it out on y'all. He should be apologizing to you. Anyway, he shows up in a Santa Claus outfit to pass out presents to passengers, and it's like, you don't even know what they want. And the whole thing is kind of cheesy at the end. But Donna and Charlie exchange numbers. You clearly live like in long distance. Not obviously going to work. But she gives him a kiss, which he, once again, his reaction, unfunny, could have just played it cool at all. You could have played it cool. It's like, we got to do this wowie attitude. And it's like, God, I know this is supposed to be meant for kids, but it's like, they're not, you're treating the kids like, this lowbrow humor. It's like I said, this, you could just have it play cool. At the very least, He could have just been left speechless, uh, or just give like a stutter or something like that. Just those things would probably been better received by the audience. Whereas like he just kind of stunned as his first kiss or something or other, instead of this over the top reaction. I did not care for it. And then Spencer, Spencer's dad, who has been getting a call from the mom, who early in the film got her children on a plane to go to Pennsylvania from California to spend the holidays with their dad, who had to drive, who's supposed to be some kind of environmentalist or something or other, had to use his biodiesel car or something like that. Like, was it like biodegradable? Biodiesel fuel car to drive, since he's technically closer to the airport. But it's still many, many, many miles. He spent the next day driving at least part way until a mishap happens. Then, because he needs to go get his children, he's willing to get he the mechanic he managed to come across along the way decides that he can fix it up. But knowing that he needs to go pick up his kids because they're left alone at the airport, he's willing to loan a person he's servicing's Hummer, who is on a trip. He's willing to borrow this as long as he bring it back, and by the time he comes back, he'll have his car ready for him. So I like this moment because, like, he's willing to sacrifice his own pride to go get his kids. I thought that was a nice moment. So he's willing to drive a Hummer, which is not in chic anymore. It hasn't been for probably well over a decade, in my opinion. But it was like a top of the line thing in like the early to mid 2000s. But he's driving all the way there, and he picks up his kids, and the kids was really impressed. Like, Dad, you drove a Hummer here? It's like, yeah, just don't tell anybody. But the way they make it out, his dad, like, oh, he's like, don't have time for his kids. But then they really don't really lean into that. He seems like a okay dad. Just seems like he's like just like an environmentalist. But they didn't really have to. I think they kind of shoehorn in unnecessarily that he's some type of forgetful dad or something or other. He's probably just busy with work, but he cares clearly about his kids. He's willing to, drive a gas-powered, polluting type of vehicle to go pick up his kids because he's not going to leave them alone. He want to make sure his kids are safe. So we got a nice little moment with that, and Spencer offers Grace to spend Christmas with him and his family, so she don't have to be necessarily alone, because even though she has some kind of nana, clearly the nana's not really paying much of attention and not much company for her. But we don't really care about that. She has some nice place. She has a place to spend Christmas with, and that is Unaccompanied Minors. To other people, I wouldn't quantify it as like a bad film. It's fairly average, probably for a general audience. It didn't do so hot at the box office. It's like, it had like a budget of 25 million and only had 21 million at the box office, so it underperformed. The jokes wasn't there. Some of the characters are, very weak links. Too much is very. I won't say too much going on, but it's definitely they don't balance. For lack of a better word, they don't balance the characters all too well. You get kind of whiplash going back and forth with certain. You don't even though you're going back and forth with like Spencer's parents, because the mom kind of worried and stuff. And that's why she calls the dad, to make sure to go get the kids. But what's up with Charlie's parents or B's parents or Grace? We don't get much with her parents. Like when they figure out like the whole Blizzard thing, it'd be nice to see that, oh, they actually do care about their daughter, like, because they don't want her daughter trapped anywhere. Donna and her mom, it's like we don't get any moments with the other kids' parents. We seem to just hyper focus on Spencer's parents. And I think that it could have been done very well in terms of being like a family film. You only focus on one kid's family. It'd be nice little heartwarming moment where instead of like I don't know how you balance it, but at least should have some moments where these other parents that we saw only a little bit in the beginning of the first act get moments of them like, oh my god, at least once, like, as the Blizzard news was coming on, we get a moment with Charles' dad and Beef's dad or parents or blah blah blah, and like, oh my god, my kids are stuck in the airport by themselves. I'm gonna go out my way. Yeah, sure, there's a blizzard. They can't do anything about it, but show some kind of initiative, calling up the airports or do some thing like in Home Alone 2 with a mom going darn near cross country to get to the destination to find her kid. It's like, find their kid. It's just like, could have had like a nice heartwarming moment with all these parents whose kids thinking like they don't care but they come together for them. Because at the end of the day, despite any kind of, divorce going on or whatever, they willing to come together for their kids because that's the most important thing. It would have been a nice heartwarming moment for that. But no, we didn't get none of that. We don't get no heartwarming moment beyond just, these this uninteresting moment with, Porter dressed as Santa giving these complete strangers gifts. Like, I don't care about any of these people. It's not some kind of ensemble airport thing. It's just a focus on these particular kids, and that should have been like that, where Spencer still does his thing. We're delivering the gift to his little sister, but we also get a moment where like we see like a moment where like Spencer's dad go on his way driving to the thing, show that once, then show how Charles' dad is making his way there, show that once, and etc. And then at the third act, we see them all convening to, gather their kids and making sure they're okay. We get none of that. I remember watching this once as a kid, not at the movie theater, but it's like, I think Blockbuster. I'm pretty sure I watched it on cable at least once, but I'm pretty sure I watched it a couple of times. One of them had to be on VHS, or no, not VHS, but DVD, for like a Blockbuster thing, when Blockbuster was still like a thing. But as a kid, I don't remember caring for it at all. That's probably why we watched it, for so long, because I never was a fan of this film. So I figured like last year I put on the list for this year to review, because I haven't watched it for so long. Maybe, as an adult I can rewatch this and maybe some gems that I overlooked as a kid that might spring up. No. Sure, there's bits and pieces of heartwarming moments, but all in all, underwhelming kind of film. But maybe if you have kids, they might get a kick out of this. It'd be fun to see all these all these soon-to-be big stars pop up once in this film that we like, Mindy Kaling and Rob Corddry and Wilmer Vladimirma, Tyler James. It's like fun to like look back and see like, oh wow, they're gonna be big stars pretty soon, or well recognized people. But in any case, that was Unaccompanied Minors. Let me know what you guys think of this film, because maybe you might get a kick out of it, and you can point out some stuff that I might have overlooked. But for me, it was underwhelming. Probably won't ever watch this ever again. Maybe when the day comes when I have kids, maybe I'll put this on for them to enjoy for the Christmas holiday. But I'll probably have a whole myriad of other Christmas films I'll probably get them to watch before I even go to this. But anyway, next week I'll have 2 more Christmas movies to review. And I think that'll be it for the Christmas holiday month. Maybe, I don't know. I was thinking about taking a break on the final week of Christmas, because next week is the last full week of the December, and then after that we got like 3 more days before New Year's. So I think the week after I'll probably take a bit of a break from streaming before I get back to doing some other reviews. And then possibly around February get back to some chaotic lore videos. But yeah, I'll have like 2 more movies to review before the December review month is over. And then I'll have my end of the year tier list of all the movies and TV shows that I've seen that I legit, at least want to do a tier list of like, worst to best that I've seen. I've seen quite a bit. I still need to go see Sonic 3, but by definitely before New Year's, I'll do that tier list. But anyway, that is it for this review. But I'll see you guys in a little bit as I get back to playing some more Marvel Rivals, playing more Loki. Next week I'll probably start learning a bit of Doctor Strange. But anyway, take care. I'll see you all later. Happy holidays. See you soon. Peace.